You are my model, you are my muse, and I don't know what I'm gonna do without you. You keep giving me, you keep giving me, you keep giving me reasons to write about. You keep giving me, you keep giving me, you keep giving me reasons to write songs about you. Cigarettes in a market in Amsterdam, but I haven't got the right money in my pocket. I ask for directions to the central train station, but I haven't got the right words in my mouth. I feel so alone, taking on the whole world on my own. After all, conquering the world is a lonely man's journey. But the outside is no one's around to watch me fall down. And the price that I'll pay for surviving this life will be dying. I'm not really sure, I think her name was Marie. Searching for gold from a ship filled with drunkards, passing down my love cause it might slow me down. Filling in the spaces on the map of my memories and all the empty faces. 'Cause after all, conquering the world is a lonely man's journey.
You're listening to the Jams and Coffee Morning Show with your host, Brad Brock.
Good morning, Jammers, and thank you for joining me here on Jams and Coffee in the Morning. I am your host, Brad Brock, and I'm so sorry that I missed yesterday. I'm so sorry that I wasn't able to get on and do the morning show. So if you were waiting, I apologize. I haven't figured out how to do send out notifications on YouTube. So that's a new thing that I'm gonna have to figure out and work around. But we're here today. You know, yesterday, of course, was the very tail end of Hurricane Ian making its way across the state of Florida and then off into the Atlantic Ocean to make its way up to South Carolina and beyond. But yeah, we had a few things that we had to address that were pressing, if that makes any sense. So I had to get up and be an adult yesterday. I actually had to put sneakers on and go outside into the world. It felt very unusual to be wearing shoes, as I normally don't. Many of you know. Poor sweet Philip said, "We wandered around aimlessly all day long since our morning didn't start out normally," whatever normal is. Philip, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you, my friend. And I'm sorry I wasn't there for you yesterday. I was thinking about doing a live stream of just kind of walking around and looking at some of the things that happened here. But the truth is there wasn't really a whole lot. We did have some things that needed to be addressed. But in terms of real damage or problems, we fared very, very well here on the Treasure Coast. There was certainly some flooding. I know there's some. I saw some reports of people without power, and that was mainly due to lightning strikes. I heard hitting transformers and things like that. So hopefully everybody's got their power back on here, and everybody's the water clearly has subsided in most of the places. And everything's kind of going back to normal here on the Treasure Coast as a pre-hurricane situation. On the west coast of Florida, though, massive, catastrophic, historical, irreparable damage to the Fort Myers area and beyond. It really, just looking at the images is really hard to believe. The beaches over there are like non-existent. If you see the photographs, they've been completely washed away. Jordan's sister Savannah used to live over in Fort Myers when she was going to the Paul Mitchell School, and lived minutes away from some of these places that have seen the worst devastation. Of course, inland fared a little bit better, but not much as the storm soldiered through the state. It was terrifying to watch. And here on the Treasure Coast, we didn't get at least inland here where we live. There was no real storm surge, of course, but the winds were incredible. The winds were just unbelievable here. And over Wednesday night were just increasingly more terrifying. And, just watching the trees through the window, they were totally doing their thing. And some of the damage that I'll talk about here, Philip asked before the show started. He wanted to know how my little palm tree that I did a little quote-unquote plastic surgery to, how that fared through the storm. And the truth is, it made it without incident. 100% intact. For those of you who don't know, we have a Robolini three-way palm or whatever, 3 trunks. And they were earlier in the year. They were having a really rough time growing. I think they had some sort of fungus or some sort of infection. And we, with the help of my friend Dave, we were able to bring them back to life, save one of the trunks. Never came back. All the palm fronds fell off. So I got a plastic one and replaced it with an artificial set of fronds. It looks so stupid, but I think it looks a little bit better than than a completely dead trunk. So the question was it going to survive these horrendous winds, because it's literally only just anchored into the trunk. And it did. However, and unfortunately, we did have one major casualty right up by the front door, believe it or not. I'm going to pull a photograph up. Our poor little hibiscus tree became uprooted and fell over during the storm. Really, and it's really sad because this tree right here had just come back to life. Earlier this year, I think all the plants in our yard really kind of got the same infection, and we treated each and every one of them and watched them start to come back. But this tree that you can see on the screen here if you're watching the show, completely had no leaves on it whatsoever. All the leaves had fallen off, and we treated it, and it was almost a discussion whether to pull it out or not. And then I noticed one day it looked like moss was growing on it. And then I realized that it's brand new. It was brand new leaves growing on the tree, and she came back in full force, flowers and all. And then a storm comes along and tips her right over. Sad. But we have her. Jordan and I went out yesterday. This is one of our projects. We got it propped back up, got the roots back in, and we'll leave it braced for the time being until it's able to stand up on its own once again. We were able to save the tree. It was really it was sad. It was sad because of the history that we have with the tree now.
You're listening to the Jams and
Thank
Coffee
you,
Morning.
Jessica, go get me a coffee. Always interrupt me. Just kidding. We love Jessica here. And the only other big thing that was one of the pressing things that I needed to get sorted out was, so here in our lounge, it's really an addition to the house by enclosing the outside patio. So the roof is still just an aluminum roof that you would find in a normal Florida patio. And so you can hear everything that's going on up there. But when we moved in, we originally called this the leaky lounge because there were leaks anytime it rained. And eventually I found the source of the leaks, and even up on the roof, they had developed some sort of flap or wing that would go over the edge of the roof. The water would run off of it and carry on down into the gutters, stopping some of the leaks in some of the areas. But they didn't complete the job, so I went up there and I used the same idea and created a flap to go over, and it's been very effective. But not during a hurricane, because through the night the wind was so horrendous it ripped that thing right off of the roof, and it was just flapping around up there, and really just it was the worst sound. It was the scariest thing, and eventually completely ripped off. So knowing that there was probably, potentially, possibly, most likely rain coming, I had to get up there and at least use some tape, or that flex seal tape, or flex tape, whatever they call it, and really get up there and seal up those cracks and things that were evident. So I had to get up there on the roof in the wind and do that. That was pretty scary also. But we made it through without incident, and a couple of the soffit panels came out. We got to fix that still, but all in all, they did pretty good. Philip asking if my trampoline survived the wind. I don't have a trampoline. I'm terrified of those things. I had probably some repressed, scarred memories of the of trampolines in my childhood. So no, did not survive. But thank you guys so much for tuning in with me this morning over on YouTube or Facebook or JNC Radio. Appreciate that. You can find links to all of those things at jncpodcast.com. I am watching the chats and comments, so if you got anything to add or your own harrowing stories of hurricane madness, I'd love to hear it. Christine tuning in on Facebook. Good morning, friend. I miss you as well. And I hope that you fared well through the storm. Let's see. Also have the JNC hotline open, 772-888-1596. Follow the prompts and it'll get you on the air with me, and you can keep me company in that way as well. Yeah, Phillips, so maybe your neighbor's trampoline is now in my yard. He sees that a lot on videos. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Those things take flight. Easiest way to avoid that is to remove the actual trampoline part. It's just little hooks. It's annoying, but it's definitely better than it flying away or securing it to a tree or something. I don't know. Never owned a trampoline. Don't intend to. But the weather this morning, you guys, is it's pleasantly cool outside here on the Treasure Coast. It's brisk. Temperatures running in the mid to upper 60s, thanks to a passing cool front. This afternoon, the highs are going to be in the low to mid 80s under mostly sunny skies and less humidity and breezy winds. So fall is here, and this is the weather that we look forward to all year long. I think, at least that's the weather that I look forward to all year long. Over the weekend, the morning lows are going to be in the mid to upper 60s, and the afternoon highs are going to be in the mid to uppy 80s. Staying mostly sunny and mainly dry. So it's going to be a nice, cool, dry weekend here on the Treasure Coast. Enjoy it, because this is what I like to call fake fall. You know, you're going to see pumpkin spice. You're going to see the Ugg boots come out. You're going to see dudes wearing their cool leather jackets from last year that barely zip up. And by dudes, I mean me. I am dudes. Oh, yeah. It's going to be a nice weekend. Very exciting stuff. We do have some national days today. We'll read through them. Let me find them real quick. And we got more hurricane stuff to talk about, because there's a lot of hurricane news. Let's see. Today is is National Love People Day. Now, it's hard to do for some people. But, on September 30th, National Love People Day asks us to lift others up through the profound power of unconditional love. The human condition is a limiting and varying thing. How and when and where we get to use it is vaguely and oddly defined. What is certain is a roller coaster-filled life of celebrations and trials. National Love People Day tasks us to understand that unconditional love requires a dedication most human beings aren't given. But when we wholeheartedly love our neighbors with steadfast devotion, the world is a better place. It's the practical application of love your neighbor as yourself. The word unconditional on its own is quite profound. Look at its synonyms: wholehearted, unqualified, unreserved, unlimited, unrestricted, unmitigated, unquestioning, complete, total, entire, full, absolute, unequivocal. Those words are dedicated, solid, and unwavering from their commitment to something. And there are no boundaries or limitations to the word unconditional. So add the word love, and the power of the phrase multiplies. So on National Love People Day, offer kindness and care to the people in your community. What a powerful day. Lovely. Love People Day. This is also National Mud Pack Day, and it gives permission to get a little muddy. Mud packs are mixtures of therapeutic clays. When applied to the skin, increases circulation, eases muscle tension, releases toxins, and boosts immunity. They work well on oily and some combination skin types. While commonly used as a facial, mud packs treat the entire skin's surface. Since mud packs come in a variety of mixtures, they can be customized for each person. When paired with a massage, the relaxation benefits multiply. And there's Also a difference between mud masks and clay masks, so look at the benefits of each. Mud Pack Day. Sounds relaxing. It's also National Chewing Gum Day. Exercises our jaws on September 30th. Pop a bubble or freshen your breath with your favorite piece of chewing gum. I love chewing gum. I have a bad habit of grinding my teeth when I drive. I think I grind my teeth all the time, but particularly when I'm driving, I will just sit and grind my teeth. So I always keep a little thing of gum up in my visor. And if I recognize that I'm grinding my teeth, I'll just chew a piece of gum. And it seems to help. Philip says, "Do we gotta?" I'm sure assuming to love one another day. Yes, Philip. Go and tell your neighbor that you love them or in love with them. Christine said she saw one person had their car parked on the trampoline. It was hilarious. Oh, Philip said the same thing, or park a car on it. You know, whatever works to keep that trampoline in place, man. That thing's like a rocket ship when the wind gets going. What other days is it today? Oh yeah, that's an important one too. It's also not this one. Maybe so. I don't know. It's National Hot Mulled Cider Day. Really getting into the fall mood here. Warms our homes with the scent of cinnamon, nutmeg, and apple. God, that sounds amazing. I might have to get on that today. I don't know about you. I love filling my home with scents like that. You know, so that a little bit of sweet, a little bit of fiery, spicy smells. I love that stuff. Yeah, I might have to do that. Hot mulled cider. Let's see. It's also International Podcast Day, which is great because that's what you're listening to right now. Believe it or not, if you're like I don't like podcasts, I don't know what podcasts are. It's basically the newest form of talk radio. While I like to lean more towards the traditional talk radio side of things, podcasting are mainly niche, to the point, and quick to ingest, to get information. But we break all the rules when it comes to podcasting. They're long. They're sometimes drawn out. It's usually me just rambling on for hours and hours about nothing at all. But International Podcast Day dedicates September 30th to promote the growing media of podcasts and the technologies surrounding it. As you can see, around the world, people listen to their favorite podcasts to keep up with the latest news, technology, entertainment, or information. Which is what you all are doing right now, supposedly. Podcasts are digital audio recordings of radio-style programs. Listeners download to hear, play directly from a website, or access via an app or digital media player. Many podcasts include video, too. These on-demand audio files deliver subscriptions as well, creating a library of podcasts available for listeners. Unlike broadcast radio, which follows a schedule, podcasts are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Or for 2 hours at 8 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. Jams and Cocktails podcast. That's right. Like the latest fashion of binge-watching a television series, podcasts allow us to listen often and continuously, too. While podcast topics vary, so do the formats, which we're not going to go into because it's a lot. But yes, it's International Podcast Day. Might have to do something special today, so be on the lookout for that. Let's see. I think there was one more at least. Yes, which was this one? Here we go. It's Orange Shirt Day on September 30th. I missed the memo, but Orange Shirt Day promotes awareness about the Indian residential school system still impacting Native American communities in the U.S. and Canada. Known as National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, the day honors the children forced into Indian boarding schools. In addition, the day also remembers those who never returned home. Well, that's interesting for Native Americans. I missed the memo on the orange shirt, though. I don't even know if I own an orange shirt. A construction shirt or something. Yeah, those are your national days, so celebrate accordingly. All right. What do we got going on? Let's before we dive into hurricane stuff, let's talk about the Jams and Cocktails recap from this past week. I didn't get a chance to talk about it yesterday, but of course we were celebrating Derek's birthday. Our very own master of disaster. His birthday is actually today. It's really today, but we celebrated on Wednesday night. In spite or despite of the hurricane activities happening outside, we gathered here in the lounge, and we had a great time. It was really, really wonderful. We are also joined by Jordan's sister, Savannah, who hung out with us. She got caked in the face, but she was crucial to one part of this whole experience, which was when we sang Happy Birthday to Derek, and we had these balloons filled with confetti. And like clockwork, we finished the song, and Derek was so surprised because Savannah just grabbed the balloon and boom, popped it right over his head. It was really cool to see, and his reaction was priceless. Check it out. The whole episode has been re-uploaded, so it's been consolidated. The audio's better. Re-uploaded to YouTube on the playlist. So feel free to watch that at your convenience. Really, really a fun show celebrating a hell of a guy and one of our best friends. So a fun show. And even on that show, Savannah broke the news about Coolio passing away, which we'll get to in a moment. Rapper Coolio just died this week at 59 years old, so young. But yeah, at one point during the show, so during the live show, if you didn't see it live, you'll miss this because it got cut out for time. But we took a break, we came back, and only half of us were here. Come to find out, Jordan's in there seasoning pork chops for me to make after the show. I didn't end up making them; she did. God love her. But she's seasoning pork chops. I was like, "What are you doing? We have 3 minutes." 3 minutes max during a song. One track mind. Thinking with her stomach. Thinking with my stomach. So funny. It was really funny. But yeah, she came back and we finished the show. It was great. But yeah, the wind was whipping out there. Of course, as I mentioned, it's just an aluminum roof here. So you hear everything that touches it. So it was really unnerving. And we were not able to hide it for most of the show. You see people looking around or being startled by noises. All in all, it was a great show. It was good fun. Coolio passed away. Let's read about that real quick before we get into everything else. Coolio, the 90s rapper who lit up, of course, the music charts with hits like Gangsta's Paradise and Fantastic Voyage, has died. His friend and manager, Juarez Posey, told CNN, and he, of course, as I mentioned, he was 59 years old. Details on the circumstances were not immediately available. When contacted by CNN, Captain Eric Scott of the Los Angeles Fire Department confirmed that firefighters and paramedics responded to a call on South Chesapeake Avenue at 4 p.m. Local time in California for reports of a medical emergency. When they arrived, they found an unresponsive male and performed resuscitation efforts for approximately 45 minutes. The patient was determined dead just before 5 p.m. An autopsy performed on Coolio Thursday did not reveal the cause or manner of his death, and further investigation will be conducted, according to the case information from the county coroner. We're saddened by the loss of our dear friend and client, a statement provided from Coolio's talent manager, Sheila Finnegan. He touched the world with the gift of his talent and will be missed profoundly. Thank you to everyone worldwide who's listened to his music and everyone who's been reaching out regarding his passing. Please have Coolio's loved ones in your thoughts and prayers. Actor Lou Diamond Phillips offered his condolences as he recounted some memories with the artist. He said, "I'm absolutely stunned. Coolio was a friend and one of the warmest, funniest people I've ever met. We spent an amazing time together making Red Water in Cape Town, and we loved going head-to-head in the kitchen. He was one of a kind, epic, legendary, and I'll miss him, he said in a tweet. Former NBA player Matt Bonner also recalled time spent with Coolio, saying in a Twitter post that the rapper was a huge Hoops fan. We hosted him at a game a few years back, biggest crowd of all time at a Spurs overtime concert. So there you go. Coolio, sail on, my friend. On to the next life. It's crazy. I just my brand new guitar. Jordan and I named it Poolio because of the color. And wow, just a month ago. Sad. What's also sad is these crazy hurricanes. After having such a calm month in August, these hurricanes are just coming through here on the Treasure Coast, although we did not receive it nearly as badly as the West Coast. We got our share here. Tropical Storm Ian, of course, lingered over Central Florida through Thursday on its northeast path across the state. And more tropical storm-forced winds in excess of 40 miles per hour with gusts reaching 66 miles per hour were felt across Indian River, St. Lucie, and Martin counties. Ian, of course, made landfall on Florida's west coast as a powerful Category 4 hurricane before weakening to a tropical storm as it made its way across the state Wednesday night. Ian came ashore at 3:10 p.m. on Wednesday near Cayo Costa, an island off of the coast of Fort Myers. Sustained winds at that time were an astounding 150 miles per hour. That's sustained winds. That's not gusting winds. That's not, one time, one big blow was 150. Sustained winds. That was coming in at that speed. The center of Ian was expected to move off the east central coast of Florida Thursday and then approach the coast of South Carolina today. It's expected to become a hurricane again before making landfall in South Carolina. I believe that it is now. This story might be a little dated. The center will move farther inland across the Carolinas tonight and tomorrow. But here on the Treasure Coast, the storm's impact left roughly 22% of Treasure Coast residents without power before noon yesterday. More than 26,000 Florida Power and Light customers, or 27%, were without power Thursday in Indian River County. Power had been restored to more than 13,000 people. In St. Lucie County, approximately 40,000 people and some change, FPL customers, or about 28% lost power. About 11,600 people had power restored on Thursday morning. Nearly 2,900 Fort Pierce Utility Authority customers, 10% of them also lost power. Western portions of the city near Okeechobee Road experienced the most outages. Priorities, of course, in restoration include essential facilities such as hospitals, fire stations, police departments, water pumping stations, and communications facilities, as well as vulnerable populations like nursing home residents or those with special medical needs. More than 8,500 FPL customers in Martin County lost power, but 17 power had been restored to roughly 17,000 residents. I don't know how that math works out, but I'm sure it's fine. The clearing storm aftermath, of course, let's see, let me read. We already did this. Yeah, neighborhoods across the Treasure Coast will be cleaning up debris for the next few days. Winds caused minor damage to at least one home in the Village Green Mobile Home Park in Vero Beach. Indian River Boulevard was closed Thursday, south of Royal Palm Boulevard, because of downed power lines over the road. A railroad crossing at 21st Street and US 1 had snapped in half and fallen over at the train tracks. Oh, God, that's terrifying. The sign for the Vero Inn on US 1 collapsed. Nobody was hurt, but it missed a parked car by just a few feet, said Carrie Jock. I know Carrie. She made it to the news. It was staying in the room adjacent to where the approximately 20-foot sign fell. Maybe it's the same Carrie Jock. I don't know. It would be unusual if it wasn't. She said, I get scared of everything, so I freaked out. I thought it was like a transformer or something. It was really loud. As downed trees were removed, scattered palm fronds, of course, collected, and cleanup began in the earnest Thursday across the Treasure Coast. School, government, offices, courts, public transits, and parks remained closed for a second day in response to the uncertainty of Ian in the area. Some businesses and services on the Treasure Coast reopened yesterday. St. Lucie Police on Thursday helped a family that had been stuck in their home after a tree fell over, blocking the garage and front door. Officers reported the home had been shuttered up and was without power. That's scary. Ian, of course, also had its impact on nature. High tides, strong waves, and windy conditions from the storm disturbed the sea turtle nests on the South Jetty at the Four Spears Inlet, unearthing the buried eggs that left the eggs exposed to birds who pecked away at them, of course. Circle of life. Sad for the turtles, though. Flooding remained a concern on Thursday as parts of the regions accumulated up to 8 inches of rain Tuesday and Wednesday. It did rain so much leading up to the storm. And then nothing, at least here. Martin County appeared to have the most rain, estimated between 3 to 8 inches. Between 3 and 6 inches, 3 and 6 inches of rain were reported in Sebastian, Vero, and Wabasso. Wednesday's rain set a record in Vero Beach for the date with 3.95 inches of rain. It beat the 1992 record of 2.7 inches, dropped on September 28th of that year when Tropical Storm Earl formed east of the Treasure Coast. Crazy stuff. I'm just kind of reading through. So yeah, that was going on here on the Treasure Coast. Thankfully, no real irreparable damage, but my goodness. Of course, as we contend with the ruinous damage left behind by Hurricane Ian, of course, what officials are saying is likely the largest natural disaster in the state's history. Can you believe that? Residents in South Carolina are bracing for the storm's expected landfall by midday today. Hurricane Ian re-strengthened into the Atlantic after killing at least 19 people here in Florida and leaving millions without power, packing sustained winds of 85 miles per hour on its way towards South Carolina as of 5 a.m. this morning. Landfall expected this afternoon between Charleston and Myrtle Beach. The storm's destructive crawl across Florida brought extraordinary flooding and storm surges, prompting the largest emergency response in the state's history. Hundreds of rescues have been taking place by land, air, and sea, with residents trapped in their homes or stranded on rooftops. Some homes in Fort Myers Beach have been reduced to nothing but concrete slabs, calling the damage in parts of the state indescribable. Hurricane slammed into our southwestern coast Wednesday as a Category 4, as I mentioned, with winds that reached as high as 140 miles per hour, inflicting vast damages to homes, vehicles, and businesses. And officials are warning it's going to be a long road to recovery. So here's what we know. There are dozens of deaths reported. At least 19 storm-related deaths have been reported so far here in Florida, though that number is likely to rise. The majority of those fatalities are in hard-hit Lee and Charlotte counties. President Biden said Thursday that Ian could be the deadliest hurricane in Florida's history. There are more than 2 million outages. Millions of Floridians, of course, who were at Ian's path are still in the dark as of early today. Most counties with the highest percentage of residents without power lie in the southwest, including Lee, Charlotte, DeSoto, and Hardy. Record flooding was recorded across central and northern Florida, including at least 3 rivers that hit all-time flood records. Officials in Orlando warned residents of dangerous flooding, which exceeded a foot in some areas. Some standing water was electrified. That's terrifying, too. I saw some posts from my friends in Orlando. Them standing in the water. up to their waist in some cases. Really scary stuff. Flooding is no joke, folks. Sanibel and Captiva Islands in southwest Florida are completely cut off from the mainland after several parts of the critical causeway were torn away. At least 2 people were killed in the storm in Sanibel, and the causeway may need to be completely rebuilt, local officials said. Chip Farrer, a resident of the tiny island of Matlaka, told CNN that 50 feet of road essentially to reaching the mainland bridge has been washed out, and a second nearby bridge also collapsed. That's so scary. And a hurricane warning has been issued from the Savannah River at the Georgia-South Carolina line up to Cape Fear, North Carolina. Considerable flooding is possible from seawater and rain, especially in parts of coastal South Carolina, where the storm surge up to 7 feet and 4 to 12 inches of rain could hit. As Hurricane Ian moves away from Florida, governors in South Carolina, North Carolina, and Georgia, and Virginia have declared emergencies. South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster implored residents not to underestimate the storm's danger and urged them to follow storm warnings closely and, of course, to prepare for the impact today. When all is said and done, Ian's storm system will likely have left behind lasting changes in its wake. Coastlines along Georgia and South Carolina may sustain significant alterations because of the powerful waves and storm surges brought by Ian could inundate coastal sand dunes. In addition to flooding communities behind the dunes, the storm may push sand back and deposit it inland, which could reduce the height of protective sand dunes and alter beach profiles and leave areas behind the dunes more vulnerable to storms. There you have it, guys. That's a rough storm. So those that are in the wake of it now are really going to... hopefully they took what happened in Florida as a lesson and have been preparing and taking it seriously. It's wow. Crazy, crazy stuff. Robin tuning in over on YouTube. Good morning, Robin. Yeah, we're good. We had to take a morning off. But other than that, we're good here. Hope that you fared through the storm as well, Robin. Well, let's see here. Might take a quick musical break. Fill up my coffee here. I got some celebrity birthdays and some music news for you today. Lighten the mood just a little bit. And I appreciate you tuning in here on Jams and Coffee in the Morning. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't. We appreciate that. We're doing a mega push for that through the rest of the year. We really need to get up to 1,000 subscribers. That's the goal. It's very important that we reach it. And everything you can do to help us, we love it. We love it. We love it. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be right back. Don't go away.
Colors into the wind, raise anchors and we can begin to sail to where the world it ends. Drive over the horizon and start again. Fly the cannons, feel the smoke in your breath. Send your enemies down to the depths where Davy Jones' treasures are kept. Locked down deep where we can't accept them. It's life for me. Time to set sail, yes, men all aboard. Load up your pistols and sharpen your swords. We'll lose some battles, but we'll win the wars. Show no fear and earn your rewards. And in It's a pirate's life. It's a pirate's life. And don't be afraid if it all ended today. And they may write our names down in history. And don't be afraid if it all ended today. And they may write our names down in history. It's a pirate's life for me.
All right, that was Bob Green with Pirate's Life. He's got tons of new music coming out, so be sure to check out Bob Green from Orlando and all of his musical offerings. So thank you so much for tuning in. Good morning, Katrina. Thanks for tuning in with me. I hope all of you, of course, fared well through the storm and are doing good. And if you've got family on the west coast of Florida, that they're safe and sound, and hopefully their belongings are intact. And if you've got family up in the eastern coast of South Carolina and beyond, that they are taking cover or getting the hell out of Dodge, because they're about to get it. Some celebrity birthdays today. Turning 38 years old on this fine fall day. Grammy Award-winning rapper T-Pain. Of course, he's known for his distinctive use of auto-tune. His album Epiphany reached #1 on the Billboard charts in 2007, and in 2019 he became the winner of the inaugural season of Fox's The Masked Singer. So happy birthday, T-Pain. Turning 19 years old, British actress who made her professional debut as Lyanna Mormont in the hugely popular HBO fantasy series Game of Thrones, Bella Ramsey. She would, of course, go on to star in the series The Worst Witch and landed the title role in the Netflix series Hilda. Happy birthday, Bella. Lacey Chabert, turning 40 years old today. She's the actress who played Claudia on the TV series Party of Five. Provided the voice of Eliza Thornberry on Nickelodeon series The Wild Thornberrys. Her film credits include Mean Girls, Lost in Space, Daddy Daycare, and The Pleasure Drivers. Lacey, happy birthday. Turning 58 years old today, exotic Italian actress Monica Bellucci, who was featured in The Matrix Reloaded and The Matrix Revolutions. After working as a model, she appeared in Bram Stoker's Dracula and The Apartment. Turning 65 years old today, Fran Drescher. She was nominated for 2 Emmy Awards and 2 Golden Globe Awards for her role as Fran Find on The Nanny from 1993 to 1999. Later, she had recurring roles on Happily Divorced, The Fran Drescher Show, and The Fran Drescher Show. Her film roles include This Is Spinal Tap, The Beautician, and The Beast, and Jack. So happy birthday, Fran. 65. That's hard to believe. This is another hard one to believe. Turning 40 years old today is Kieran Culkin. American actor, of course, who first gained fame for his role as Fuller McAllister in the Home Alone series alongside his brother Macaulay Culkin. He was nominated for a Golden Globe for his role in the 2002 feature Igby Goes Down. 2017, he starred in the film Infinity Baby. Happy birthday, Kieran. And, of course, happy birthday to Derek. Derek Zugel turning 39 years old today. course, we celebrated his birthday on the podcast on Wednesday night. Always a good time. I got some music news. I had this written for the show the other day, but I don't think we got to it. But Stevie Nicks, making a little bit of news here. The Gorillas, you remember that band? I'm happy, feeling sad, or feeling glad. I don't know the words, but cool music. The Gorillas, they enlisted some pretty big names for their upcoming album, Cracker Island. But perhaps the biggest is Stevie Nicks. The Fleetwood Mac singer is featured on a track called Oil and recently gushed about her experience working on the song in a new interview. She said, well, I have to tell you, it was really great because Cracker Island co-producer Greg Kirsten sent the song to me. I called Greg back and I go, I think this is now our new favorite song, and I haven't even sung on it yet. She said, but yes, I'd love to do this. She said, I learned that song as if I had written it, and if I was an Englishman with that accent, and I love it so much. However, the iconic singer-songwriter had one demand for appearing on the album. She wanted to be featured in the music video. She said, because that's how I know about the Gorillas, is because of all their crazy cartoon videos, she explained. I want to be a gorilla, and I want to have big false eyelashes, and I want to have blonde hair, right? So that's what I said. And so they're doing it as we speak. And the whole song is, I think the song is somewhere between love and war. She said, I can't wait for it. I can't wait till it comes out because I'm so proud of it. And now she said, I was an honorary heartbreaker. I was an honorary Foo Fighter. And now she's going to be an honorary gorilla. She said, I'm so happy. So interesting. It would be interesting to see Stevie Nicks as one of the Gorillas. Cracker Island is slated for a February 23rd, 2023 release. Over the weekend, the band premiered a new song with Beck live during a Los Angeles performance. So, how about that? We're going to have a new gorilla, and it's going to be Stevie Nicks. We touched on this. On Wednesday morning, but here's the full story. Jimmy Buffett has pushed back his remaining 2022 tour dates because of health issues and brief hospitalization. According to a statement shared on his Instagram account, Buffett, 75 years old, is rescheduling 3 of the remaining performances and canceling 2 others. The It's 5 O'Clock Somewhere artist postponed 2 upcoming performances at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. Those shows were originally set for October 8th and October 15th and have been rescheduled for March 4th and March 11th, respectively. Buffett's October 22nd concert at Snapdragon Stadium in San Diego, however, does not have a rescheduled date announced as of publication time. Buffett's upcoming performances at Vivint Arena in Salt Lake City and Ford Idaho Center in Nampa, set for the 10th and the 12th, respectively, of October, have been canceled, according to the statement. Jimmy Buffett and the Coral Reefer Bands are unfortunately unable to reschedule the following dates, which will no longer be happening. Due to health issues and a brief hospitalization, Jimmy will need to refrain from touring for the rest of the year. The announcement on his social media reads, on doctor's orders, he must take this time to recuperate and heal. Jimmy looks forward to getting back on stage next year. It went on to say, we appreciate your understanding. Fans with tickets to the rescheduled shows are encouraged to hold on to the tickets as they will be honored at the rescheduled shows next year. But for refund information for the MGM Grand Garden Arena shows, please refer to details on jimmybuffett.com for canceled shows. Your tickets will be refunded. So we wish the best for Jimmy. I'm a huge fan, as I'm sure many people are. And we hope that he gets back to 100% and is back doing what he's always done, which is entertaining us. Robin chiming in, she says, happy birthday, Derek. Why has he been celebrating his birthday for days? Because that's the new thing to do. You don't just have a birthday, you have a birth week. You gotta start early. You gotta get all that birth time in. 7 whole days to celebrate. I celebrate for a whole year. So Take that. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, we got some sports news here, and this is sad, and I want to get your opinion on it. But Tua Tagovailoa was taken off the field after sustaining neck and head injuries after being slammed to the ground in Thursday's game against the Cincinnati Bengals, and was stretchered from the field. Of course, he's the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins said Tagovailoa was conscious, had movement, and all of his extremities, and was taken to the University of Cincinnati Medical Center for further evaluation. The team posted on Twitter that Tagovailoa was expected to be discharged and fly home with the Dolphins Thursday night. He was chased down and sacked by Josh Tupou. With about 6 minutes left in the first half, he was spun around and thrown to the turf. While on the ground, his hands froze in front of his face. He remained down for more than 7 minutes before being loaded on a backboard, stabilized, and strapped into a stretcher after his face mask was removed. Dolphins players gathered around him as he was rolled off the field, and the crowd chanted, "Tua, Tua." Reaction came swiftly from around the NFL. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes and Broncos quarterback Russell Wilson promptly tweeted with concern for his well-being. "Praying for you, Tua," Wilson wrote. The 24-year-old was suffering from a sore back and was listed as questionable for most of the week ahead of the game. He briefly left Sunday's 21-19 victory over the Buffalo Bills after appearing to be disorientated by what the team originally said was a head injury after taking a hard hit from Bills linebacker Matt Milano late in the first half. He missed just 3 snaps and returned after halftime, a decision that prompted a joint review by the NFL and the National Football League Players Association of what went into the decision to allow him to return to the game. The team and Tagovailoa, this is a hard one to say. Tagovailoa said after the game the quarterback had a back injury that caused his awkward stumble and fall after he was slammed into the turf in the second quarter. The team said Monday that he was not in concussion protocol. Miami originally said it was a head injury, but Tua said after the game that he hit his back on the fall. Said he hyperextended his back after getting his legs caught under someone on a quarterback slack. Before leaving Thursday's game, he was 8 for 14 for 100 yards and an interception. He was replaced in the game by Teddy Bridgewater, who threw a touchdown pass to Chase Edmonds with 15 seconds left in the half. The play of Tua, who won a national championship at Alabama, has been key for the 3-0 Dolphins. Came to the game second in the NFL with 925 passing yards. So we hope that he's okay. We hope that it's certainly not a career-ending. We hope it's not a career-ending injury. But let me know what you guys think. I didn't get to see the game yesterday. If you guys saw it, let me know your opinion on that. Should he have been playing? Because I've been reading comments all morning about, he shouldn't have even been on the field. He should have had more time to recover. That he looked just unusual out there. Something that I read, he just didn't look like his head was in the game. So let me know what you think. Yeah, and interesting story. I hope that he, coming off the heels of just such an incredible season so far, it's really sad to see him being stretchered off the field. Hope he recovers quickly. What else is going on? It's pretty much it, you guys. I've got some shameless plugs for you this morning. Tonight, I'll be playing a rare show at the Sneaky Tiki in downtown Stewart. Not a rare show, but a rare evening show. You usually find me there on the first and third Sundays of the month. But I will be covering for the I'll be covering for somebody tonight. So I'll be there, I believe, 7 to 10 is the showtime. I could be wrong. It might be 6 to 9. Somewhere in those hours, I'll be there. But but I'll also be back there on Sunday. So it's a double shot at Sneaky Tiki this weekend. You'll catch me there tonight. And then again on Sunday afternoon. And sandwiched beautifully between those two shows, we'll be at Hop Life Brewing tomorrow afternoon, celebrating their 5th anniversary, and of course their Oktoberfest party. So it should be a good time. I get to wear my Oktoberfest outfit again, so get a couple of uses out of it before it goes into mothballs. So that's going to be a great time. I'll be there from 2 to 5 tomorrow at Hop Life Brewing in Port St. Lucie. And then stick around after that because my good buddy Shane Duncan will be performing that evening as well, all the way up from South Florida. He'll be playing there. So it's going to be a good time at Hop Life and a great weekend with the Sneaky Tiki. And that'll do it. That'll do it for me this weekend. And then I'll have some time to rest and relaxate, as they say. But yeah, also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and share it with your friends. Ask them to subscribe as well. That would be awesome and amazing. Check out the Live365 Radio App if you've not. It's a cool app. You can find JNC Radio on there and listen to the show and great music all the time. Check out the Drums and Rums podcast with Paul Robertson and all that he has to offer. And yeah, come and see me this weekend. It'll be a good time. Other than that, I don't have any other shameless plugs. So yeah, if you're listening from the Charleston area or up the East Coast at all, because I feel like the storm's just going to go, please stay safe and sound. You guys enjoy your weekend. Also, most importantly. And I'll see you back here Monday morning, right here on Jams and Coffee. National Podcast Day, International Podcast Day. Go listen to some podcasts. Go listen to all of ours. We love that. Stay safe out there, you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Tune in again tomorrow morning for the latest local buzz, national headlines, music news, and more on JNC in the Morning, right here on Facebook and YouTube.